Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero intro for my YouTube channels. For my YouTube channels and real life super and action hero vigilante Facebook fan page. This video, this is nothing different. It's another skinny jeans sweatsuit costume intro, and this only difference between this and the previous one, this is more positive. In this one I wear my rare blue and orange skinny jeans sweatsuit with the blue sweat jacket with zipper and the orange skinny jeans with the other accessories that go with it. Because yesterday while out on patrol, my slick cool goth emo rock and roll baggy skinny jeans sweatsuit black baggy skinny jeans sweatsuit, it was pouring, it was heavy rain yesterday, pouring, and yesterday it got soaked so bad that the clothes which hasn't been washed in 2 to 3 weeks was just stinking terribly. The stench was too strong, even too strong for me, that I had to change clothes and put it in the wash. So now I'm wearing the blue and orange. In this video, I also want to redo this video this will be the first time that I have an intro where I won't use either of the Sonic I won't use either of the Sonic themes. Instead, I'll be using 2 pro wrestling themes, and both of them are for the professional wrestler Jeff Hardy. As is my costume and my mannerisms in the video will be similar to Jeff Hardy and several other wrestlers. So several other wrestlers such as Booker T, and of course the usual ones: Teddy Hart, Bobby Lashley, and Brian Cage. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll be using 2 songs. I will once again be using "Modest" to the top, and I will also be using "Modest" to the top, the 2010 remix, and the 2012 and 13 Similar Creatures theme. So with that being said, let's get this intro started right now.
Yeah, it's giving grandma tendencies. Grandma,
straight to the top, the wind can head up and start showing you why we should go. No one is real, no one is still the only way to blow the bands and dirties. No way that your body's as strong as your face in this life. There's a lot of time to get a showcase. It's more show again. Show how this time you don't have to lie. Show the way to make it right. Make it. Show
Hey everybody, it's time for my larger part 2 narration review of the 1988, 89, and 90s anime for me, armored anime, the Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors, yeah. This show made its way to America in the early 90s and in 1992 on the Sci-Fi Channel's Cartoon Quest block. But I saw it for the first time 6 years later on Cartoon Network's Toonami Action block in 1998 and 99. It had the 5:30 time slot. Yeah, the 5:30 time slot after Dragon Ball, and I thought this, to this day I still think this, I thought this this anime is one of the best animes, one of the best cartoons, television shows Toonami and Cartoon Network has ever had. This show was one of my main reasons for finding not only streaming websites, streaming or video file sharing websites, but also the invention known as YouTube. There had to be a website, a place with uploaded files of past television shows that were no longer on television. And this was it. And this was one of the first shows when I discovered YouTube. This was one of the first shows that was here. Yeah, it was one of the greatest shows ever. I hated the Cartoon Network. Never gave it another shot. Never tried to ever run it again. And just like Shirato and Wild Nights Go Kiva, another show that needs to come back. But I'll talk about that later. So yeah, Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors. One of the more well-known Saint Seiya clones. And what was interesting, this is one of the Saint Seiya clones, but I saw this before Saint Seiya because this show made its way to America before Saint Seiya did. Saint Seiya, in my opinion, blows this show out of water. Saint Seiya and the other two, Shirato and Wild Nights Go Kiva, blow this out of water. However, this show beats all of them when it comes to, first off, notoriety. More people remember this than they do the other three. And when it comes to excitement, this show's plot characters were way more exciting. And when it comes to armor, weapons, and powers, they are second best. They are second best behind the Shirato. Yep, behind the Shirato and the Wild Nights Go Kiva when it comes to armor, powers, and weapons. And their quotes are way more memorable compared to the others. I love saying it. Rile of the wildfire. I even like to joke and add the MF word, saying stuff like Rile of the mother freaking, and effing the other one, Wildfire, Sai of the Turret, Sage of the Halo, Kento of Hard Rock. Yeah. Sai of the Torrent, I think. Yeah. A nemesis in the English to quake with fear. So yeah. It's this storyline, its characters, its quotes and stuff are way more memorable than any of the other three. The first 13, of the of for me of the season 1 portion, which is episodes 1 through 13. The season 1 portion is actually 1 through 19, but for me 1 through 13 and 15. Around episode 13 is when the storyline picks up, where the storyline picks up after the first 3 episodes. It's a series of it's a short in anime form, a bunch of filler episodes featuring the Ronin characters before they're reunited again. And 13, we later learn when Kento has a story arc. The character Kento has a story arc of his own, where we later learn that one of the armors is evil, and we also learn that the evil warriors, Talpa, the main antagonist Talpa, the ruler of the dynasty, his minions, Anubis, Chaos, Sekhmet, and Deus, I think that's their names. We later learn that a human also wields the Ronin, wields the armors created by the Ancient One, and Talpa, who was vanquished in the past. His body was destroyed, but his spirit lives on. Is bent on capturing all the armor, so he can dominate the world. That's the plot. That's the synopsis. According to Wikipedia, Talpa, ruler of the dynasty, is bent on conquering the earth. Staying against Talpa and his 4 warlords are the 5 Ronin warriors, each in possession of mystical armor and weapons. They are assisted by Miya Koji, a young student researcher, and Yuli, a child, and the mysterious being known as the Ancient One, who reminds me of Raiden from Mortal Kombat. The main characters are in the front, the most iconic, and the leader, Ryo of the Wildfire, whose element is who wears the red armor, his element is fire. Then we got Sage. We got the guy who wields the green armor, Sage of the Halo. Sai of the Torrent, the guy who wears the light blue, the dark blue, Rowan with the bow, and my least favorite of the group, but I'm still a fan of his. My least favorite of the group, Kento of Hard Rock. Yeah, the four excluding Kento and Ancient Ones from the heroic characters. Are like my top favorites. Yeah, and then of course, and from the bad guys, who are much more exciting characters, especially the leader of the warlords, Anubis, Chaos, Sekhmet, and Deus, and the human armored form of Talpa, are some of my all-time favorite characters in Ronin Warriors, especially Anubis. Him and the others, they technically go through the most development. This show is rarely criticized, but when it is criticized, it's criticized for a lack of actual development. The characters, especially the main ones, really don't change that much, and really there's really no need for them to. The two in episode 1 immediately basically accept their destiny. Now each one has his or her challenges throughout the series, but there's really no need to develop these characters any further. One of the very few times you really don't have to. But the OAVs, there's a 6-episode OAV that airs after the Tulpa saga is completely finished. They vanquish Tulpa, they defeat Tulpa, and I think in episode 19, but he comes back later in the series, somehow revealing he survived, and finally, in the final episodes, they finally put him down for good, and they face a series of new challenges They face a series of new challenges, including reanimated Ronin warrior's armor and a cool Panther warrior in the sequels. I gotta finish watching the OVs though. So yeah, the OVs are way better storyline, but the anime itself is more exciting. The Tulpa and Warlord saga is way more exciting. So yeah, I like all the episodes, with my favorite and best being episodes 1 through 3, 13 through 19, The Return of Talpa, episodes 36 through 38 through 30 through episodes 36 through episodes 36, 35 through 38, and the OAVs are my all-time favorite and best episodes of the series. I like both. I like both versions. The Japanese version is a gigantic samurai anime film epic. The English version is this gigantic edgy double dragon Saturday morning style of cartoon, and the show itself is a cross between the Saint Seiya, the other two armored shows, Shirato Legend of the Heavenly Spear, which precedes this by a couple of months. What was the other one? And the later produced Wild Knights Go Kiva, which was after this. That was in the mid 90s, 1995. I also see elements of and the character designs and personalities from the mecha show Voltron, Defenders of the Universe. I think this is way better than Voltron. But yeah, Voltron. Psy looks like the character, I think his name is Lance, and Ryo looks like the main character, the leader Keith, and Kento looks like the I keep forgetting his name, but he also wears the same color scheme as Kento here. Yeah, that show Voltron, and I see Voltron elements. I see elements of Street Fighter and elements of Mortal Kombat, and the Avenger, because they constantly deal with invaders and invasions from people from different realms. I wonder if the Mortal Kombat 3 storyline was inspired by this. This is also the first anime to mention the Nether Realm. Yeah. To mention the Nether Realm, and going back to the dubs, I like the theme song you heard. You heard that awesome, cool, epic Japanese version, and then you have the more dramatic Japanese version, and then you have the more exciting, fast paced. You have the much more exciting, fast paced Power Ranger-esque Ronin warriors. Gotta find the armor. Quake with fear. Yeah. So one of the best animes, one of the best and most underrated animes of all time that deserves a comeback. They got modern day action figures made to commemorate one of their anniversaries, but I want a new modernized anime set in this time, and don't screw it up with SJW garbage. These characters, how they were in the 80s and 90s, set in this time with this technology. Yeah, and I want this reran on Cartoon Network's Toonami Action Block. I was actually mad when they said there will be no old shows. Okay, I was okay. I understood this when they said there will be no old shows, but when they air Dragon Ball Kai, but passed up on this, I stopped watching. I stopped following and stopped watching Toonami. So that's how much I love and appreciate Ronin Warriors, and also appreciate what it's done for what's its name. I consider this one of the main inspirations from Bleach, as its plot and this and Shirato's plot are way closer to Bleach than the Saint Seiya, which also inspired Bleach. So yeah, this was Ronin Warriors. Yeah, to see the part 1 portion, the link will be in the description box below. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
To make it right.